Let me hit record. Okay. Oh, there we go. That's why. Gail.
Okay, Gail is ready.
Okay. Let me make sure everyone is muted so that you're muted. And if anyone joins in a few minutes, they'll come in muted and we won't have any problems. So we're going to start lying on our backs tonight and take a few settling breaths as we get situated. Oh. I do have to keep the lights on until we get to the end of the class, otherwise no one can see me on Zoom. All right, so once you're lying on your back, see if you can find that, the spot on the back of your head. Give your head a little shake. And then lift your shoulders up, pressing into the back of your head, lift your shoulders up, and then see if you can spread them as you lay them back down, letting your arms open wide. Lift up one hip and butt cheek and set it down. Lift up the other one and set it down. See if you can find some space in your lower back. And then reach your right leg away from you and reach your left leg away from you. You want to try and find some evenness, some symmetry between your right side and your left side. And now take a big inhale, starting at your toes, breathing all the way up through your body to the crown of your head. And then exhale it all back out. Inhale, draw the air up from your feet, through your knees, through your hips, your torso, your chest, top of your head. And then exhale it all out. On your next inhale, draw your right knee into your chest. So if you have a strap, you can use that. Otherwise, just interlace your fingers across your shin. Breathe here. On each exhale, see if you can draw your knee a little bit closer to your chest. Leave your back of your head on the floor. Your spine should be nice and long. Now holding on just below your knee with your right hand, see if you can draw your knee towards your right armpit. So you're turning your hip out, rotating through the hip socket. Your left arm can come out on the ground, maybe to help you from rolling too far to the right. And breathe here. We're going to guide the right knee across the center of our body all the way over to the left, coming into a twist. See how far you can go. Switch hands, your left hand on your right knee. Now your right arm opens up. If it's comfortable, look over your right shoulder. Breathe here. Come back to center. You're going to flex your right foot, reach the sole of your foot up to the ceiling. So you're coming into a L shape, a 90-degree angle. You can hold on to your calf, your ankle, or if you have a strap, you can go ahead and place that over your foot and see if you can pull, gently draw the right leg closer to your chest. You might have a small pulsing effect here. You might feel this stretch through your lower back. We're working out our hamstrings. Your left leg is a little active. So it's not super tight and engaged, but it's reaching still along the floor. And now see if you can slowly straighten your right leg, holding onto the strap or onto your calf or your ankle. See if you can reach your heel closer to the ceiling. And if you want to take a little extra, see if you can roll your nose up towards your knee, activating your core. And then gently roll your head back down to the mat. Holding on to your calf or under your knee, open your leg out to the right. We're holding on to a strap. Open your left arm. Feel your hips slowly opening. Maybe you can draw your right leg closer to your head. Maybe not. You can always bend your knee if you want to get more of an opening through your hip, if you find that that bending and straightening of the leg feels good. And now bring the leg back up to center. Hug your knee back into your chest. Pause here, rotate your ankle in one direction, and then rotate your ankle in the other direction. And then place your right foot on the mat. Slide your left foot up to meet it, so both knees are pointing up to the ceiling. You might want to recenter your spine. And then hug your left knee into your chest, interlace your fingers, stretch your right leg out away from you. Take some long, slow breaths here. On each exhale, feel your knee get a little, your thigh, sorry, get a little bit closer to your torso. So you squeeze as you exhale, release as you inhale. And then holding on below your knee with your left hand, open your leg out to the side, feeling your hip rotate open, your knee coming towards your left armpit. And then slowly bring the left knee all the way across over to the right, switching hands. So your right hand is on your left knee. You can open your left arm all the way out if that feels good. Maybe look over your left shoulder. I find this to be a big stretch through my hip, through my outer glute, and also through my torso, but we're all different. And then slowly make your way back onto your back. Flex your left foot, reach the sole of your foot up to the ground, keeping your knee bent so you're coming into that L shape. Hold on to your calf or your ankle, or if you have a strap or a tie, you can gently hold on, place it on the ball of your foot. Flex your foot so your heel is reaching higher than your toes, or at least it feels that way. Can't actually do that. And then slowly start to straighten your leg. Now remember, the right leg is active. Keep some acknowledgement that it's there. Don't let it get all lazy on you. And when you're ready, slowly open the left leg out to the left. You can always bend the knee. You can hold on to your leg under your thigh, your calf, your ankle, your big toe, a strap, whatever works for you. And then slowly bring your leg back up to center. Slowly place your left foot down on the ground. Slide your right foot up to meet it. And start to windshield wiper your legs slowly right to left. See how your hips feel now. And then when your legs are to one side that feels comfortable for you, leave them there. Let your body catch up and slowly make your way up to a seated position. We'll meet in a comfortable cross-legged position. Sitting up nice and tall. Let your hands come down by the sides of the ground. And we're gonna walk our right arm out and see how low we can get. It might just be here. Maybe you can come down a little bit lower. Maybe your elbow comes all the way down. This is a great place if you have a block, if you wanna put the block under your arm to bring the floor up closer to you. And then start to lift this arm up and over and feel how deep that gets into your side body. This is where I get sore when I sit in the car for a long time. Breathe here. See if you can open, twist, open, open, open your heart, and then slowly make your way back up to center. Slide your left arm down as far as you can, as much as it's comfortable, and then reach your right arm up, 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 and all the way over. Reaching your right arm over. Breathe. And then come back up to center. So little on the screen, I was like, I couldn't see myself, but I'm there. I can see that I'm there. All right, roll your shoulders back a few times and roll your shoulders forward a few times. Nice. All right, we're gonna cautiously make our way into our tabletop position. So come to your hands and knees, however that works best for you. Lining your palms up under your arms. Let me just turn that, there we go. Your knees up under your hips. Spread your fingers, point your pointer finger forward. Rotate your arms, your upper arms so your elbows are pointing out. Press your shins into the mat and then drop your belly, open your heart. Big inhale for your cow spine. Exhale, round for cat. Inhale for cow. Exhale for cat. Inhale for cow. And then come to your neutral. Think about lifting your lower body, your belly button up to meet your back body, your spine. You're finding space. You're spreading your shoulder blades. From this lifted position, reach your right leg back. Rock back and over your toes, making that sawing motion. And now drag the right foot over to the left. And then if you can, look over your left shoulder to see if you can see your toes back there. Breathe here. See if you can press into all 5 toes, stretch through the hip. And then release it back. Return your right knee. Do a little shift, do a little readjustment. Reach your left leg back. Rock back and forth, saw back and forth over the toes. Feel some calf stretch going on. And then slide the left foot over to the right as far as you can. And then look over your right shoulder at your left toes. Breathing here, press into your right shin. And then return the left leg behind you. Come back to tabletop. Readjust if necessary. Reach your right foot behind you. Lift it up to hip height. Flex your foot. Think about your right toe, big toe, sort of pointing to the left so that your leg is nice and straight. And now draw your knee all the way up so you can place your right foot up between your hands. Keeping your left knee down on the mat. See if you can lift your fingertips up and slowly lift your whole body up, reaching your arms up to the sky. Press into your right foot. Think about lining your shoulders up over your hips, and you're going to find a slight stretch in the front of your left hip flexor. Breathe here. Bring your hands to heart center. And then bring them back down. Shift your weight back, straighten your right leg, flex your toes up to the sky, coming into a runner's lunge. Now your tendency is going to be to slide your left hip to the left. Think about keeping that left hip in line with your left heel. So you've got this wall next to you, and maybe you're pushing against it, but you're definitely not pushing through it. And now roll your weight back onto your right foot, plant your hands, and slide your right knee back underneath you. Reach your left leg out behind you, flex your left foot. Point your left big toe over to the right so you feel like you're really stretching, pointing straight down, your leg is straight. And now draw the left knee in towards your chest and slide the left foot forward. You can always use your hands, any help it needs. See if you can press into the left foot and start to float your fingertips up as you make your way, arms all the way up. Hips square. Think about facing forward like you're in a box. And then bring your hands to heart center. Pause here. As you bring your fingertips down, you're going to shift your hips back, flex your left toes. Nice. Stretching through the back of your left leg. Again, think about that wall on your right. Keep your right hip in line with your heel as best as you can. And then fold forward or roll forward and return your left knee underneath you. Go ahead and open your knees. Shift your hips back, coming into a half of a child's pose. So we're going to keep our head lifted. We're going to lower our elbows down. We're going to stretch. We're going to walk our fingertips out. So it's not a relaxing child's pose. It's an active child's pose, stretching through your side body. And then come back up to tabletop. Return your knees so they're underneath your hips. Reach your right leg out behind you. Flex your foot. Find that straight leg. Bring your foot up between your hands. Shift your weight to your right foot and see if you can lift your left knee off the ground. You can always keep your left knee there and then float your fingertips up. Maybe you can come all the way up to lunge. Bring your hands to heart center. Bring your fingers back down to the ground. Lower your left knee. Maybe you walk it back a little bit so you can find a deeper stretch and you let your hips come forward just a little bit. And now roll back, stretching your right leg, flexing your right toes up. Bowing your head down, deepening the stretch if it's comfortable for you. And then roll back forward onto your right foot, plant your hands, return to your tabletop position, readjust, reach your left leg out and back, flex your foot, draw your left foot up between your hands, curl your right toes under, lift your right knee if that's available. And then squeeze and lift, coming all the way up to high lunge. Nice. Breathe here. Bring your hand to heart center. And then float your fingertips down. Lower your right knee. Maybe you shift it back just a little bit so that your front right hip flexor gets a little bit more of a stretch. And now shift your hips back, straightening your left leg, flexing your left toes. Roll back forward, plant your hands, return your knee underneath for tabletop. We're gonna make our way into our first downward dog. So walk your hands forward, curl your toes under, peel your hips up, Coming into your down dog. Reach your heels back, bend your knees one at a time. Walking your dog. Right, left. Left, right. Deep knee bends. Let's do that same little bit, but now we're going to start from downward facing dog. So float your right leg up behind you. Draw your right knee all the way in. Slide your right foot up between your hands, coming into your low lunge. Inhale up to high lunge. Draw your hands to heart center. And now see if you can straighten your front leg and then bend. Come back to your low lunge. Step back to downward facing dog. Pedal it out, right, left, left, right. Float your left leg up behind you. Draw your left knee all the way forward, coming into your low lunge. Float on up to your high lunge. Bring your hands to heart center. Straighten your front leg. And then come back into your lunge. Float your fingers down. Step back to down dog. Breathe here. Look forward at your hands and slowly walk your feet one at a time up to meet your hands, coming into your forward fold. Let your head hang heavy, bend your knees slightly, and then maybe sway your hips right to left. Let your head get heavier. Let your hair hang out. Then come to stillness and start to slowly roll up one vertebra at a time, pressing your feet down, engaging your core, slowly rolling all the way up. Beautiful. Okay, we're at the top of our mat. We're standing. Check your pressure from your right side to your left side, so shift a little bit. Let your arms hang evenly if possible by each side. And then reach out and up, bringing your hands to touch overhead. Exhale, fold all the way forward. Inhale, lengthen, flat back, press into your shins. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, reach your arms all the way out, back and up. Palms touch. Breathe in, breathe out. Inhale, exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lengthen your spine, flat back. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, reach your arms all the way out and back up overhead, palms touch. Breathe in here, breathe out. Inhale, exhale, fold forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, plant your hands on the ground this time. Step yourself back to plank. Hold here in plank. Breathe in, breathe out. Lift your hips to downward facing dog. Breathe here. Float your right foot up. Draw your right knee all the way in, coming into your low lunge. Inhale, come up to your high lunge. Exhale, bring your hands all down. Step back to plank. Drop your knees. Lower your chest and chin. Untuck your toes, baby cobra. Exhale, come back down. Press up through tabletop. Curl your toes. Lift your hips. Downward facing dog. And breathe. Float your left leg up behind you. Draw your left knee all the way in, coming into your low lunge. Inhale up, high lunge. Exhale down. Step back to plank. Forgot where I was. Drop your knees. Lower your chest and chin, untuck your toes, baby cobra. Exhale down. Press up straight to plank or back through tabletop. Curl your toes, and we will all meet in downward facing dog. Breathe here. Look forward at your hands and start to slowly walk your feet back up to meet your hands. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, reach your arms all the way out and up overhead. Exhale your hands down all the way to your side. So check your feet. Either bring your feet really close together or hip distance apart. It doesn't matter whichever one is more comfortable for you. But you want your knee spacing to line up with your foot spacing. So if your feet are together, keep your thighs and knees together. And if they're a little bit apart, keep them apart. We're gonna sit back into our chair position, reaching our arms straight out in front of us. See if you can actually wiggle your toes as your weight back in your heel. And then we're gonna stand back up. Breathe in. And let's do that again. Sit back, arms out. Maybe you can reach them up a little bit higher this time. Sit a little bit lower. And then stand back up. All right, now for the good one. Sit back, reach your arms all the way out. Draw your hands to heart center. This is where you need to be aware of the space in your thighs. You don't want your legs to come in if your feet are apart. Twist to the right. See if you can bring your left elbow towards your right thigh, looking up over your right shoulder. Breathe here. And slowly untwist. Stand all the way back up. Reach your arms up. Breathe in, and on your exhale, sit down back into your chair. Bring your hands to your chest. Find that length through your spine as you lift and twist to the left, bringing your right elbow to your nice anally. And looking up over your left shoulder. Breathe here. Ooh. Come back to center. Reach up. And exhale, fold all the way forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, plant your palms. Step yourself back to your plank position. Choose your vinyasa, knees, chest, chin, or if you're ready for chaturanga, go ahead and do that. Coming into your back bend of choice. And then we will all meet in our downward facing dog. Breathing here. Whew. Float your right leg up behind you. Draw your knee into your chest. Float your right leg back up behind you. Draw your right knee into your chest. One more time. Float your right leg up behind you. Draw your right knee into your chest. And then bring your right foot all the way up between your hands. You're in your low lunge. We're going to turn our left heel down, rising on up to our warrior one. So your hips are trying to be square to the front of the mat. Your arms are reaching up. You're lengthening your tailbone. Your left leg is straight, pressing into the outer edge of your left foot. Breathe here. We're going to open into our warrior two. Turn your right palm up, exhale back, peaceful warrior. Come back to your warrior two. Straighten your right leg, turn towards the windows, palms touch up overhead, flying warrior. Turn your left foot to the back of the room, coming into warrior two. Turn your left palm up, exhale back, peaceful warrior in this direction. Come back to warrior two. We're gonna go back in the same direction. Straighten your leg, turn your toes to the windows, palms touch overhead. Open to the front of the room, warrior two. Cartwheel your hands down. Pause here in your low lunge. Plant your left hand, twist up and open to the right. So as you're twisting to the right, think about your right hip dropping down, your left heel reaching back as your right arm reaches up. So you want the twist to be in your torso, not in your legs. And then drop your right hand down, step back to plank, go through your version of your vinyasa, and we will all meet in downward facing dog. Breathe here. Float your left leg up behind you. Draw your left knee into your chest. Float your left leg up behind you. Draw your left knee into your chest. Float your left leg up behind you. Draw your left knee in, bring your foot all the way up between your hands. You're in your low lunge. Reach your right heel back, turn it down, press into the outer edge of your right foot. Come on up for warrior one. My back is going to be to all of you. I did not turn around. Pause here in your warrior one. And now open to your warrior two. Turn your left palm up, exhale back, peaceful warrior. Come back to warrior two. Straighten your left leg, turn your toes to the door, palms touch overhead. And then set warrior two to the back of the room. Turn your right palm up, exhale back, peaceful warrior. And then come back to warrior two. Straighten your right leg, turn your toes to the door, palms touch overhead, flying warrior. And then warrior two back to the front of the room. Cartwheel your hands down. Pause here. Plant your right hand, twist up to the left. Reaching your right heel back as you drop your left hip, finding the twist in your torso. Bring your left hand down, step back to plank, go through your version of your vinyasa, and we will meet in downward facing dog. Breathe here. Look forward at your hands and walk your feet back up to meet your hands. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, reach your arms all the way out and up overhead. Exhale, your hands down by your side. We're going to straight into the chair twist. So reach your arms as you make sure your core is engaged. Draw your hands to heart center. Lengthen your spine. Exhale, twist to the right. Left elbow to right knee. Shift your hips so they're even. Look up over your right shoulder. And then come back to center. Maybe you don't straighten your legs this time. And twist to the left. Right elbow comes to your left knee. Nice. And come back to center. Straighten your legs. Bow forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, plant your hands. Step back to plank. Go through your version of your vinyasa. And we will meet in downward facing dog. Breathe here. Reach your heels back. Lift your hips. Press the mat away from you. Find length in your spine. Float your right leg up behind you. Draw your knee into your chest. Float your right leg up behind you. Draw your right knee into your chest. Float your right leg up behind you. Draw your right knee into your chest. Step it up into your low lunge. Pause here. Turn your right heel down. Inhale up, warrior one. Breathe here. Open into your warrior two. Turn your right palm up. Exhale back, peaceful warrior. Come back to warrior two. Straighten your right leg. Reach forward, coming into your triangle. Hand on the floor or a block or your shin. Twist. Come all the way back up to stand. Turn your toes to the window. Palms touch overhead. Open warrior two to the back of the room. Turn your left palm up. Exhale back, peaceful warrior. Come back to warrior two, straighten your left leg, reach back to triangle, left hand comes down to the ground, your shin, the floor. Twist open, look up at your right finger if possible, and then stand all the way back up. Turn your left toes towards the window, turn your right toes back to the front of your mat, come back into warrior two. Cartwheel your hands down, stay here in your low lunge. Plant your left hand, twist to the right. Think about dropping your right hip down, reaching your left heel back. And then bring your right hand down, step back to plank. Go through your version of your vinyasa. Knees, chest, chin. Take a back bend. And we will all meet in downward facing dog. You can always take a break, take a child's pose. Breathe here. Float your left leg up behind you. Draw your left knee into your chest. Float your left leg up behind you. Draw your left knee into your chest. Float your left leg up behind you. Draw your left knee in. Place your left foot up between your hands. You're in your low lunge. Turn your right heel down. Press into the outer edge of your right foot. Come up to your warrior one. Get your bearings. Open to your warrior two. Turn your left palm up. Exhale back. Peaceful warrior. Come back to warrior two. Straighten your left leg. Reach your left arm forward. Come into triangle. Reaching the right arm up. Come all the way up. Turn your left toes to the door. Palms touch overhead. You have to zip up through your center line. Turn your right foot out. Come to warrior two to the back of the room. Turn your right palm up. Exhale back. Peaceful warrior. Come back to warrior two. Straighten your right leg. Come into triangle. Reach your right arm down towards your ankle or your shin. Reaching your left arm up to the sky. Finding the strength in your inner thighs to find your balance. And now reach your right arm up. All the way overhead, toes to the door. And then warrior two to the front of your mat. Cartwheel your hands down. Place your right hand on the ground. Reach your right heel back as you twist to the left. Bring your left hand down, step back to plank. Go through your version of your vinyasa. And we will meet in downward facing dog. Look forward at your hands and walk or take one big step or hop your feet to your hands. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, reach your arms all the way up overhead. Exhale into your chair pose. Bring your hands to heart center. Lengthen your spine, twist to the right. Maybe this time you can open your right arm up to the ceiling. Maybe you can open your left arm down to the ground. Make sure if there's a space between your feet, there's a space between your knees. And then come back to center. Re-lengthen your spine, twist to the left, right elbow outside your right knee. Maybe you can fly your arms open, maybe not. Different on each side. I know it is for me. And then come back to center, dive forward. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, plant your feet, step back to plank. Go through your vinyasa or straight to down dog. And we'll pause in down dog. Take a moment to align, reach your heels back, your hips up, long spine. And now float your right leg up behind you. Draw your right knee into your chest. Float your right leg up behind you. Draw your right knee into your chest. Last time, float your right leg up behind you. Draw your right knee into your chest. Float your right foot up between your hands. Turn your left heel down, inhale up, warrior one. Open into warrior two. Turn your right palm up, exhale back, peaceful warrior. We're gonna come all the way through the side angle. So your right arm is on your right thigh and your left arm reaches straight up to the sky or maybe over towards the front of your mat. Or maybe you take a bind. And then come into warrior two, straighten your leg, palms touch overhead as you turn your feet to the window and come into warrior two to the back of your mat. Turn your left palm up, exhale back, peaceful warrior, pressing into the outer edge of your right foot. And then come all the way through warrior two to side angle, left forearm on left thigh. Right arm reaches up or over or into a bind. Come back to warrior two, straighten your left leg, palms touch overhead, rotate your feet. Come back to warrior two to the front of your mat. Cartwheel your hands down, plant your left palm, twist to the right. If you're feeling frisky, maybe you come all the way into a side plank, maybe not. And then come into your plank, go through your vinyasa, and we will meet in downward facing dog. Pausing your down dog, take a child's pose, take a break. Last side. Float your left leg up behind you. Draw your left knee into your chest. Float your left leg up behind you. Draw your left knee into your chest. Last one, left leg up behind you. Draw your knee in. Place it up between your hands, coming into your low lunge. Turn your right heel down, press into the outer edge of your right foot. Roll on up to warrior one. Open into warrior two. Turn your left palm up, exhale back, peaceful warrior. Come into side angle, place your left forearm on your left thigh, reach your right arm up or over or into a bind. And then come back through warrior two, straighten your left leg, turn your toes, palms touch overhead. Open up to the back of your mat, coming into warrior two. Turn your right palm up, exhale back, peaceful warrior. Come all the way through to side angle, placing your right forearm on your right thigh, reach your left arm up and over or into the bind behind your back. And then come to warrior two, straighten your leg, find that inner thigh strength as you turn your toes, touch your palms overhead, and then release to warrior two to the front of your mat. Cartwheel your hands down, plant your right hand, twist to the left. Bring your left hand down, step back to plank, go through your version of your vinyasa, and we will meet in downward facing dog. Keep your hips lifted. We're gonna reach our right leg behind us and then draw our right knee towards our right wrist, coming into pigeon, setting yourself up, sliding your left leg back. And then if it's comfortable, coming onto your forearms or lowering your torso even further down. Resting here. We're gonna be here for a minute, so settle in. Maybe you close your eyes. See if you can find some opening through your hips. They should be warmed up now. Feel free to adjust as we settle in. Start to bring yourself back up. With your palms on the ground in front of you, see if you can find some flexion in that back leg.
bending it a little bit. Everybody is a little different. And then curl your toes and use that to press yourself back into your downward facing dog. Pedal your down dog out. And then reach your left leg back, draw your left knee towards your left wrist, coming into pigeon on the other side. Walking your right leg back, making sure your foot is in a banana shape. Slowly bringing yourself down on this side. Don't rush it. We have a whole minute. Take your time. Maybe work your right leg back a little bit more. Open your knee out. Make small minor adjustments to find the opening of your hips that is right for you. And then start to come back up. If you can come to a place where you're supported and you can bend your back leg comfortably, go ahead and give that a few tries. And then curl your toes, press yourself back into your downward facing dog. From here, we're gonna lower our knees down and come into a child's pose. From our child's pose, we'll roll up into a seated position. Extend your legs out in front of you. Sitting up nice and tall, draw your right knee in towards your chest. Breathe here for a few moments, making sure your back is straight. And then when you're ready, hook your left elbow around your right leg, twist to the right, looking behind you. Be mindful of your spine. You want to be sitting up as straight as possible without arching your back. So use your right arm to give you that straight spine support. And then come back through center, take a counter twist over to the left. And then come back to center. Let your right knee open out to the side, finding that opening through your hips. It probably feels really nice now. And we're gonna go straight into our rolling forward over our left leg. Letting everything hang heavy here for a few breaths. And then roll yourself back up. Extend your right leg out in front of you. Draw your left knee in. You might need to reorganize a little bit. Hook your right elbow around your left knee. Bring your left arm behind you. Being mindful that you're sitting nice and tall, keeping your right foot active, nice. And look over your left shoulder. I know Thanksgiving has been a few days now, but you might still have some digesting going on. So these twists, maybe you're still eating leftovers. So these twists are very helpful for all of that. And then do a counter twist coming all the way to the right. And come back to center. Slide both feet onto the mat. We're gonna reach our arms forward. We're gonna go down nice and slow. So find some core engagement. Leaning back nice and slow. We had a lovely Thanksgiving at my cousin's house. And then we came back home. Head all the way down. Lengthen your spine. Let your knees, walk your feet to the edge of your yoga mat. Let your knees touch each other. Let your lower back release. And take a couple breaths here. Walk your feet so they're in line with your hips. We're going to do 2 bridges. So with your toes pointing away from you, your arms out by the side, your side, you're going to start to roll your spine up 1 vertebra at a time, lifting your chest to your chin up to the ceiling. If it feels good for you, you can shimmy your arms together behind your back, giving you a little bit more reach, a little bit more back bend. Pressing into those upper arms, and then lower down 1 vertebra at a time. Nice and slow. You can either windshield wiper your legs here, or you can open your legs and let your knees knock in, whichever one feels better on your lower back, whichever one you think you get more of a release out of. Let's set up for our final back bend. Coming into our last bridge pose. Toes are pointing away from you. You're going to press down. You're going to start to roll your spine up 1 vertebra at a time. Reach your hands behind your back. Shimmy your shoulders together, giving yourself a deeper back bend if that feels right for you. Your chest moves towards your chin as your chin reaches up to the ceiling. You're pressing into your big toes and your pinky toes. Take 2 more breaths, and then when you're ready, you can release and slowly come all the way back down. Windshield wiper or knees in. Before we make our way into Shavasana, invite you to do anything else you need to do. Maybe a happy baby feels good here, where you hold on to the outer edges of your feet, letting your lower back really relax into the mat. Maybe you feel better in a cobbler's pose with your soles of your feet touching. Or maybe you're done and you're going straight into Shavasana. When you're ready, start to lengthen your body out. Let the back of your head make its way onto the mat. Lengthen your spine. Let your right arm fall away from your body. Let your left arm fall away from your body. Let your right foot fall out to the side. Let your left foot fall out to the side. Start to slow your breathing down. Notice how your breath feels as it travels through your body, up your feet, through your ankles, through your calves and your shins. Imagine it swirling around in your thighs, your hips, moving up through your lower back, wrapping around your torso, filling up your lungs. Wrapping around your fingers, moving up your arms into your elbows. Traveling up into your shoulders, through your chest, through your neck, up to the top of your head, and then releasing all that out of your body. Moving into your stillness. Do you want some lavender spray? Can I touch your feet? Start to slowly deepen your breath, becoming aware of your surroundings. Wiggling your fingers, wiggling your toes. Maybe let your head roll gently side to side. Move your tongue away from the roof of your mouth. And if you want, reach your arms up overhead and find a whole body stretch from your fingertips down to your fingers or down to your toes. And then when you're ready, roll onto one side, nice and gently, pausing there. And then slowly press yourself back up into a seated position. And when you're ready, reach your arms out and up overhead. Draw your palms together, bring them down to your heart center. Let your thumbs touch your sternum, making that connection. Gently bow your head if that's comfortable for you. Thank you all for coming and letting me lead you through practice. I will see you all again soon. Namaste.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And those of you at home can stay or go.